Hello, friends. All right, so today we are moving on to Unit 7, Lesson 4, and we are going to solve quadratics by graphing. So we're going to say solve by graphing. This is the easiest. This is our favorite thing to do, okay? You are going to love it because we get to use Desmos, and Desmos is awesome. So with that being said, you need to open Desmos. So on my canvas, over to the side, this should be the last thing you see, is Desmos. So click on that link and open in a new tab. And this will open the star version of Desmos. You need to be using this version of Desmos. If you get used to using the online version of Desmos, you will be able to do things that you're not going to be able to do in this version, okay? So you need to use this version so you're prepared to take the STAR test because this is the version you're going to be able to use on STAR, okay? So we're going to kind of leave this to the side and let's look at our notes. So we're all the way, this is our last lesson, guys, last lesson for this unit. Okay, so steps for solving by graphing. The first thing we want to do is move everything to one side of the equation and make it equal to 0. So we've said this is our third time covering this, right? Every time you solve quadratics, you want to make it equal to 0. Then you're going to type that equation in Desmos without typing the equal 0 part, and you're going to click on the x-intercepts. It's that easy, okay? So we have 3 types of solutions whenever we have quadratics, whenever we're graphing quadratics. This is what our graphs will look like when we have quadratics. We're not dealing with straight lines anymore, and we're going to look more in depth into these graphs in the next unit, okay? But these graphs have this U shape, and we have 3 types of solutions. So here we have 1, 2 x-intercepts. So we have 2 x-intercepts. My goodness. We have 2 x-intercepts, so it crosses the x-axis twice. This is also called 2 solutions or 2 roots or 2 zeros. Okay, so the words x-intercepts, solutions, roots, and zeros are all asking the same thing, and they're looking for those points where you cross the x-axis. Okay, you will see the STAR test ask you the same question in different ways like this. Okay, so here on this next graph, we cross the x-axis 1 time, so we have 1 x-intercept. We have 1 solution. We have 1 root or 1 zero. Okay, so x-intercept, solution, root, zero, these are all synonyms. That means they all mean the same thing, and that's where we cross the x-axis. So this third graph over here, it never crosses the x-axis, so we have, you guessed it, no x-intercepts. I'm going to write x in for this one. No solution. No roots. And no zeros. I do want to point out that we should be saying here for all of these, let me make that a little bigger. For all of these on this side, this is no real solutions, roots, x-intercepts, or zeros, okay? This is no real. So in Algebra 2, you will figure out that we have non-real solutions. So we're going to have values that have I in them, and that's a whole different thing for Algebra 2, okay? But in our case, we're going to say this is no solution, no root, no zeros. Okay, so here we go. Example number 1. My first step is to set it equal to 0. So right now it's not equal to 0. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this 4 to the other side. So on the left-hand side here, right here, these are not like terms. None of these are the same. This has an x squared. Remember, it has the same variable and exponent. This is x squared, this is x, and this is just a number by itself. So we'll have 3x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 0. So to solve this, I'm going to take this equation, I'm going to type it in Desmos. So let me see if I can get this to go side by side. Here we go. If I can type this in Desmos, I have negative 3x. If you do shift 6, you can do squared, or on your screen, you can click this little keyboard to pull it up and then hit the squared button. Plus 4x plus 4. Remember, do not type the equal 0 part, just the one side of the equation. And then you can click on your two x-intercepts where you cross the x-axis, and those are your solutions. So this means I have x equals, I have x equals negative, and I'm going to go ahead, I should have left my calculator open. I closed it. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the calculator to get a fraction, just because I like fractions better, and we need to be comfortable with getting fractions. So this number, we need to be comfortable going back and forth between these decimals and fractions, okay? Because the STAR test may give you both answers, okay? So in your calculator, is it going to do anything? Oh, goodness. Well, it won't even let me close it out. Okay. There we go. It went away. I don't know what happened. All right. Okay, so in your calculator, this is the same calculator you'll see on your screen. Let me go back to the home screen. So in the calculator, I'm just going to type this number in, this one right here. When you see something that says 0.667, what's happening here is that this 6 is just going to be repeating forever and ever and ever. So in my calculator, I'm going to type in negative point, I'm going to show you, 6. I'm going to type these 6's all the way across the screen because these 6's are just going to keep repeating. And then I'm going to do math right here, enter, enter. I'm going to hit that twice. And that gives me a fraction, okay? So that fraction, this number as a fraction is negative 2/3. So my x value is going to be negative 2/3 is one of my solutions, and I also have x equals 2. So that's my answer. All right, so then we also have number 2 here. This is already set equal to 0, so all I have to do is type this in Desmos. So I'm going to do x squared plus 3x plus 20. And I don't see anything on my graph, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I see it's way up here. So this graph has no solution. All right, so graphing is super easy. That's the end of our notes. Graphing is super easy. You use Desmos, okay? You have to use Desmos to do this. So now you should go to modules. You should go down to the bottom of unit 6. Nope, sorry, we're on unit 7. Okay, to the bottom of unit 7, and there is a solving by graphing GIM kit. So this is a new game. It's kind of like Kahoot. So you'll just click on that link, and it will take you to the game, and you'll answer the questions. Make sure you use your name. If you do not use your name, I cannot give you credit, okay? So make sure you use your real name. If you have any questions, please let me know. I would have GimKit open on one screen and Desmos open on the other screen. Remember, you can do the little window key and the bracket over there by the P to set your screens equivalent on two sides of your computer so you can see both of them at the same time. All right, see you later.